Coming to Istanbul felt like running into an old friend you haven't seen in years. You both got older, a little softer in the belly, a little louder in your silences. The city is still chaotic, beautiful, full of noise and soul. Just like before, only older, wiser. And somehow you still fit together. You both changed, but the love is still there. This time Istanbul brought someone else into the picture. Simon.
Finally, I am in Istanbul, and yesterday I got my Iranian visa.
Hell yeah. He arrived on a bike all the way from Dublin, zigzagging through every corner he could find on the map for a whole damn year.
I spent the last year and a half riding 15,000 kilometers across Europe through 18 different countries, and all of that was while working full-time Monday to Friday.
The kind of journey that carves stories into your skin. And now he's heading farther east, drifting towards places where maps get fake and the roads stop making promises. Isabel and I knew this might be the last time we'd seen him in years. So we met up for a proper goodbye, for the stories. Because after a trip like that you want to hear every mile of it. And we did. We listened.
I started at my home in Dublin, got the ferry to France, and then rode the length of the country down to the Pyrenees. 2 weeks after leaving Ireland, my ankle basically exploded. It swelled up so much I couldn't fit my foot into my shoe and had to ride in my socks for a couple of days. Then I got into Spain and got my first concussion. I was so concussed I didn't even realize I had one. So the 2 weeks I had blurry vision, I thought it was just my eyesight getting worse from old age, and ended up buying new glasses thinking that would fix it. In Bosnia I ended up in hospital with pneumonia. When they let me go home I had no energy, so ordered takeaway, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and became best friends with the food delivery guy from that town. And then there's been the full extremes of weather, from getting stuck in Andorra for a week because of heavy snow blocking the only road back to France, to riding in over 40 degrees day after day across Serbia at the height of the heat wave last summer. Europe was nice, but now it gets real. I am so close to Asia. It's right behind me. It is one ferry ride away. In a few days I'll leave my first continent, and realistically my comfort zone too. So far I've done everything while working full-time Monday to Friday, but as soon as I cross the Bosphorus, I will switch from carrying a laptop and looking for Wi-Fi to carrying water filters, chlorine tablets, satellite phones, and looking for warm, dry places to camp. It's like 15 minutes after midnight, so technically it's not new bike day, but it's basically new bike day, so let's go for a test run. I don't know if this is me just having coping skills, but like, it feels heavy compared to a race bike. But when you add 40 kilos of luggage, it goes from 45 kilos to 48 kilos. And then you might not notice the difference as much. I need to get used to change. There's a reason I don't want to ride a bike that can snap in half. Steel is real. Isn't that what JP always says? My bike. Its name is Tundra. I always name my bikes after the colour and using the same first letter as the name of the brand. So it's a forest green two-terrain that got the name Tundra. My last bike was called Tansy because it was a marigold yellow Trek. I had to get my granddad to give me a list of names of flowers that were yellow because I had no idea of any. Tundra is ready for basically anything. I've switched from carbon to a steel frame, so I can subject it to basically anything and it'll survive. I have a gearbox instead of a derailleur, so all the gears are hidden away from the weather. It has a belt instead of a chain, so basically no maintenance. The only thing that can wear out are the brake pads, so I'm carrying about a year's worth of them since they might be hard to find in some of the remote sections. I have a satellite phone to be able to call for help, and to get power I have a dynamo in my wheel that connects to a USB port in my headset, so I can charge my phone, camera, satellite tracker, all of that.
By the time I finished this video, Simon had already crossed all of Turkey, Georgia and rolled into Armenia. The man doesn't stop. He hit some heavy roads along the way, tough ones. But through all that, he kept sharing these raw, beautiful pieces of the journey on his socials. Little windows into a life most people only dream about. Who knows how long he can keep riding like this, chasing the edge of the map. But one thing is certain. Somewhere along the way his story stopped being just his. It became fuel for a lot of us.
My name is Simon, and I don't know what the future holds, but I'll be sharing the stories along the way on my Tour to Everywhere podcast and the things I see on my Instagram, Soya Jones. See you if I see you.